Hi buds, I'm the real Gary V, and today we will remember and mourn what will soon be the second victim of 4th edition's squatting, the Beasts of Chaos. This is an army that I have personally played more than any other in 3rd edition due to it being my friend Thomas's only army at the time. Thomas, this is for you, buddy. Please note, this episode will have lots of sexual jokes and I will be making fun of furries. Also please note, I do not actually hate furries, you guys are great. I can always rely on you to make old people uncomfortable and help me anytime I need something sewed. Also, before we get started, if you could please like and subscribe. Doing so helps grow my channel and get recognized by the algorithm, which helps out even further. Alrighty then, Goat Boy time, let's go! In the beginning of the Mortal Realms, there were no Goat Boys. Everything else showed up, they were doing their own thing, and it was good. Then one of 3 things happened, and bam! Goat Boys are now a thing. And they're ruining everything for everyone else. These 3 things are the Alpha Progenitor. This legend says that all beastmen come from a single source, an alpha goat boy, if you will. Like all self-described alphas, he was actually a hairy goat-like chud that went around pumping out little Waldor sockbat clum babies everywhere. Now, because of the alpha goat boy's fine work, every settlement in the Mortal Realms now needs walls, or the inhabitants will quickly be snuggle-struggled to death. The Warping Wilds. Once upon a time, there were no furries. This pissed the Chaos Gods off to no end. They then decided to start warping beasts and tribesmen into furries. And now Gur has its very own Anthrocon. Side note, I'm pretty sure it was Slaanesh and Tzeentch were the ones that did the heavy lifting on this project. Nothing in the lore that says that, just look at it for yourself. It's very obvious they had everything to do with this, and Khorne and Nurgle took a backseat. Corpus Chaotica Prostolate. This theory basically just says that there is order, so there has to be chaos. And the Beastmen were the first versions of chaos to show up. I personally don't like this theory as much, mostly due to the fact I couldn't think of anything funny to write here. Now time for some history in the Age of Myth. The beasts were everywhere, graping and pillaging, being absolute pests. Then Sigmar woke up, got an alliance of dragons, various races of people, and the pantheon of gods together. They did their thing, the dragon ogres were completely purged from Azir. The beasts took heavy casualties and they fled into the wilderness and hard-to-find places that were not caves and swamps because those were already taken. Things were good for the forces of order and the Pantheon. Civilizations grew and prospered. Great works and technology were being discovered and made. The gods and their followers went around ruining things for the god beasts, dragon ogres, and whatever Kragnos' people are. And the beasts of chaos peeked out of the forests in disgust. Then Sigmar's pantheon started to fall apart. Gorka Morka ran out of stuff to fight, so they turned around, looked at all those newly built cities and castles, and decided to have a go at them. Grimnir blew himself up fighting his lizard equal. The elf gods were really emotional and had to go find new ways to make their followers even more dickish. Don't worry, they did a great job at this. Soon all that was left was Sigmar, Grungni, who was really busy inventing stuff, and Nagash, which seems a little bit sus to me, but Sigmar didn't see it as a problem at the time. Then Chaos decided to attack. They ended up winning a shit ton of battles, and forced Sigmar into one big fuck-off final battle that would decide the fate of the Mortal Realms. Sigmar was hoping that Nagash would show up with that endless horde of the undead that he has that could easily turn the battle, but he didn't. Much like my own father, Sigmar decided when times got tough, he was just gonna leave. And now the Age of Chaos has begun. This is where the Beasts of Chaos thrived. They enjoyed almost 500 years of grape, murder, and chaos. Their numbers went way up to the point where the only thing more populous than them was Ratboy and company. Things were good. There was barely any cities left, the forces of order were on defense, and everything was truly chaotic. Then one day Sigmar showed back up with legions of super soldiers and vast hordes of well-trained normal people. All of a sudden they started founding cities, purging chaos taint from the land, and wiping out chaos forces everywhere. The Beasts of Chaos were now on the defensive again, much to their chagrin. Things continued to get worse for them when the Necroquake happened and there are now billions of ghosts running around killing everything. This did affect everyone else, but at the same time, it was still the Beasts of Chaos problem as well. Things did briefly get better after the end of the Necroquake and the awakening of Kragnos in 3rd edition. The magic of Gur was sent surging through the Mortal Realms. This sent the beasts into a frenzy and they launched attacks all over the Mortal Realms. While the beasts were having a great time and being a huge nuisance, they never really accomplished anything much and pissed off all the wrong people. They would wipe out a couple of thousand Dawnbringer Crusaders, and then soon after, more would show up with even better armor and training. They would sack Illumineth Temple and kill a dozen monks. Then the next week, a full army of Lumineth would show up and wipe out everything in the forest. They would piss on one of the Sylvaneth's sacred trees and then set up one of their magic bad dragons. Soon, everything in the forest would be chasing them and killing anything they caught. This has led into 4th edition and them going away. While they were a nuisance, they never really finished the job. Kragnos was also imprisoned again, and the beasts lost a lot of their momentum. Plus, everyone they fucked with was still really pissed off. The Lumineth, Sylvaneth, and other forces of order were making great strides in wiping them out from the forest and their own territory. The Chaos Gods also got the call from GW about the Beasts of Chaos being transferred to Warhammer the Old World. So they made an offer to the remaining Beasts of Chaos, either join their monogod armies or die. Slaanesh and Tzeentch seem to be better salesmen because Zangors and Slangors are still a thing in the game. The final nail in the coffin was the Vermindune, with Ratboy showing up and messing with everyone's shit. As of right now, the beasts are still in the setting, but what little of them are left have retreated to the realm's edges and are trying not to get anyone's attention there. Now that the history is out of the way, let's talk about what the beasts are all about. The first thing is that they worship chaos as an entity and not any of the gods. If any member of the tribe starts praying to anyone a little too hard, they are told to sod off to one of the playable armies. To worship chaos, they go around killing, destroying, graping, and erecting moderately sized bad dragon statues. And much like furries in the real world, fluffy butt plugs are a key aspect to their worship as well. And before you get mad and say that's not part of the lore, just look at them. Come on. They're totally into that kind of thing. I also really like to think of the Beast of Chaos as basically the militant agnostics from South Park in that one episode. Go ahead and watch it if you haven't. Funny episode. There are 4 different groupings of beasts. The Allherd. These are the most beastly and head-up-their-own-ass group of beasts. They believe they are the first and best Clum babies from the Alpha Goat Boy. They look down on all other Chaos followers as inferior, and they put up more bad dragons than anyone else. Because their heads were so far up their own ass, they were probably all killed off by the other Chaos followers who just didn't want to put up with them. The Darkwalkers. They love ambushes, and they love being sneaky. The other beast herds don't like them due to working with the Slaves' Darkness all the time. These are probably the majority of beasts that have joined other armies instead of dying. They're smart like that. The Gavespawn. They worship Morgur from Warhammer Fantasy, and they love Chaos Spawns, which they all one day hope to be. The other war herds and the Slaves to Darkness both hate them because they rely on these. Ugh. GW, please update your fucking sculpts. They have recently been wiped out by the Lumineth and the Sylvaneth, which I say, good for them. The Quake Fray. These were the new kids on the block. They had a good 1 year and 9 months of play, classic G-dubs. They are led by smarter-than-normal Cygors, they love earthquakes, and they want everything to be destroyed. Rip, Bessie, and Messy. Now all that's left is the army overview. I am not going to do a full in-depth look at the army due to them being gone in 3 months, but I will still talk about how they function in the lore. The Beasts of Chaos rely heavily on ambushing their enemies with overwhelming numbers to get the advantage in battle. While they are all battle-hardened from years of living in the wilderness and surviving consistent battles, they wear little to no armor, and most fights are just raids on poorly defended villages. This doesn't help that most of the enemies that they face now can outgun them and usually kill half their army before they even reach melee combat. This is why the element of surprise is so important to them. Some tribes do have the good grace of being staffed by dragon ogres and bestigors who have made the big brain move of wearing armor in battle. Bray herds are led by Bray shamans, beast lords, doom bulls, and dragon ogre shaggoths. The armies are then made up of vast hordes of gores, ungores, ungore raiders, bestigors, dragon ogres, and a variety of monsters. There really is no uniform army in the lore. It is very much a random bunch of goats, cows, and monsters showing up to burn down your shit. In the final couple months of Tabletop, I will show you the keys to success with this army. Get out your pen and paper, this is going to be a long one. Step 1. Run 80 bestigors and a couple Bray shamans. Step 2. Sit on all the objectives and watch your opponent fail to take out your 160 wounds. Step 3. Win. Well then, that's just about it for the video. Beasts, it's been fun. Thomas, thank you for drawing some of the images for this video. Have a great day, buds, and Beasts of Chaos, I'll see you as the Beastmen Bray Herds in Warhammer the Old World.